morning. Happy Monday. Forgive this hasn't been worked on yet this morning. It's 7 o'clock. I had been up since 3:30. That's when Mike leaves for work, so he kisses me goodbye, and most of the time I don't hear him. But today I had a very restless night's sleep. I've been having a lot of restless, sleepless nights. If you go back and watch some videos from 2017, you'll see my struggles with OCD. I'm clinically diagnosed, and there are just some times in my life where it flares up much worse than others. And me changing my environment helps it, with right now not having the ability to really change my environment. It's up here, it's driving me crazy, and it does keep me from sleeping. So I figure while I'm up, let's take care of me. So I just finished uploading a video from the weekend, and now I'm working on my breakfast. Well, this is hard-boiled eggs, just for hard-boiled eggs. But I am getting ready to throw my egg in here this morning. I have a little mini avocado, and over here in my toaster oven, in fact this is done, a piece of toast. Dave's Killer bread, grain and seed bread. Breakfast. Remember, take care of you first. Then you can take care of others. Well, I've managed to get a shower, but that's kind of it. I'm not going away today, so if you've been watching me for a while, you know when I don't leave the house, the hair and the makeup are just going to be natural. So, what I thought I wanted to talk to you about today in regards to back on my journey to get my happiness back the way it used to be was some self-love. So you've seen I took the time to make myself a good breakfast. Now you know that on the weekends Mike and I eat really good breakfast, whether we choose to go out to a restaurant or whether I choose to cook him a nice big breakfast. It's always been a priority for us, because through the week he gets up at 2:30 or 2:45 depending on the day of the week, and dude, no, I'm not getting up and cooking a great big old breakfast at vampire hours. It's just not happening. So excuse the dog whining in the background. My mother just went next door to babysit the neighbor's kid, and a big fuss-ass Cooper is whining because he thinks he should be allowed over there. Are you going to make it through this, or am I going to have to call a dog therapist? Oh, that dog. Brr. Anyway, so one of the things that I had to, I'm basically starting over. You know, I know I've done the journey once and I know it works, and I was on cloud 9 and I was a totally different person. But I've had to start from ground zero again. And I did the whole going through the circumstances and the experiences that have occurred since I had the journey the first time, and writing them down and throwing them away, and they're no longer part of my life, and I'm great with that. I'm not focusing on stuff that has occurred in my life for the last 3 years, 2.5 years roughly, and letting it impact me anymore. So step 2, taking care of you. And that's a big thing. A lot of women don't think they are worthy, and so important for all of us, men or women, to believe that you are worth everything that you want in this life. We are all created equal. Whether you choose to believe in God creating us or evolution, either way, you've evolved or you were created, all of us, as equals. There is nobody more worthy of anything in this life than anyone else. Cooper! No! Dear God, I'm so sorry. You're not going over there. N-O. So, once you get to that point, which I should probably do a separate video just on that, but I'm not prepared to do that. What I prepared was what I like to call my self-love menu. things that I can do for myself, even if it's only for 5 minutes, that brings me joy, brings me happiness, or calms me down. Knowing that when I do these things, I'm worth taking that time to do them. So I'm sure anyone could come up with 1 or 2 things. I'm going to encourage you to come up with 10 things. I've come up with 11, so I will share mine with you. This is what I call, like I said, my self-love menu. Things that I can do. What I like to do is I like to look at this and pick 1 thing every day that I can do for me. Now, honestly, it's back to 10 only because I started with some of my original things that I used to do back when I did the journey the first time, but one of them isn't applicable anymore, and I'll let you know what that is. So number 1, sitting on a beach brings me extreme contentment and happiness. Now again, where I live right now, not possible to do that on a daily basis. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a beach on an ocean either. You know, we have lakes around here. Now, again, we're in the middle of winter. Not going to happen right now. But I can still take advantage of putting my toes in the sand, even if it was hauled in sand, and just sitting by the water. But beach at an ocean is my number 1 thing that just brings me complete happiness and joy. The next one is laying in bed and talking to my husband. I love Sunday mornings. Sunday morning, we don't usually jump out of bed. Saturdays, it seems like he's always got work to do, whether it's around the house here or it's on a car. It's, you know, he works all week at his job. Saturdays, he needs to get caught up on the other stuff. Sundays, we get a little lazy in the morning. And we will just wake up, and before we even go have our coffee and tea, we'll lay in bed and just talk. We love to talk to each other. I mean, it helps if you have a good relationship with your significant other to do this. And we do, and sometimes we'll lay there for 15 minutes, but we've also laid there for over an hour. Just talking and enjoying, just jibber-jabbering, and whether it's serious subjects or it is like just goofiness. We love just hanging together like that and doing it when you first wake up and you're just laying there and you haven't had anything previous in your day to distract you. It's so enjoyable. All right, next. I love cooking a healthy menu, and I definitely jumped off that wagon big time in the last 2.5 years. So I'm back to trying to tweak stuff here and there. Again, I told you in like a video or 2 ago that I started watching my old videos. Lord have mercy. At one point, like May, June 2017, man, was I eating so good. Oh my God, Mike and I both. We were drinking no alcohol. Of course, I'm back on, I drink. You know, I'm a wine drinker and a liquor drinker. He's a beer and a liquor drinker. Not daily. Don't get worried. We're not over imbibing on a regular basis. But like when we were playing games with our friends on Saturday night, Missy and I shared a bottle of wine. So again, it's not heavy drinking. But anyway, back then we had no alcohol in our system. We were eating nothing but whole foods. We had cut pork out of our diet. We were only eating beef once a week. We were eating nothing but chicken, fish, and vegetables all the time. And I look at what I've been eating lately and I'm like, Michelle, what the heck is wrong with you? Girl, you can do better than this. So when I do take the time, which I have all the time in the world right now, I don't know what my excuse is. I know what my excuse is. I'm mentally and emotionally not where I need to be. But anyway, when I am mentally and emotionally where I need to be, and I, excuse me, take the time to create a healthy menu and prepare that for us, that makes me happy. It does bring me joy to put the good, wholesome, healthy food on the table and know that it is totally nourishing our bodies and not harming us in any way. Next, drinking tea and reading. That has always been my thing in the morning. When I get up, I like my cup of black tea, which I have switched. If you've been with me for a while, you know I was always a Lipton drinker. Well, I've done my research. Lipton, where they're getting their tea, it's sprayed with pesticides like crazy. So I have switched to Tezo brand. Tezo Awake English Breakfast Tea. No pesticides used in the growing of their tea and where they get it from. So it's definitely more expensive, but again, I'm worth it. It's not like I'm spending $10 a tea bag. It's still cheaper than going to Starbucks. But I do love the taste. The English breakfast teas just have a very, very distinct taste as opposed to a plain old Lipton black tea. So that time in the morning of me drinking my tea and reading, whether it is reading the book that I'm rereading right now, or if I'm on the iPad doing any kind of reading, whether it's for research or just looking for a new documentary to watch, anything like that. My quiet time in the morning is very important to me. Next, looking at old photos and videos. I love to reminisce. This is where social media has been such a positive thing. I know everybody bitches all the time about the negativities of social media, but it doesn't have to be that way. You know, I just hit my anniversary with Facebook, according to Facebook the other day, that I've been on there for 9 years. So when I take the time to go back to some of the original photos that I posted 9 years ago, it's so cool. And they're time stamped of when I uploaded them. I also took time several years into Facebook when I started getting a lot more family and friends on my Facebook page, that I would find old photos, like actual pictures that I had of them from when they were kids. These pictures can go back like 30 some years. And I scanned them in and uploaded those to Facebook and tagged them in it because they may not have known that I had these pictures of them. So I love taking the time when I have nothing else to do and just going back and looking at stuff like that. YouTube, what I'm doing right now, looking at my old videos and looking at vacation videos and just getting inspiration from my own stuff, again, that I might have forgotten about. Love it. Even stuff that I've posted that Mike's been doing to cars and stuff here and there on the videos. I said to him the other night, I'm like, Mike, well, it's been 3 years since you had to put the wheel bearings on the Buick. And he's like, man, has it really been that long? Just dumb stuff like that. I can recall it because of the social media. So taking the time to look at those old photos and videos is wonderful to me. Someone keeps texting me. Hold on. Okay, let's keep going. Next, sitting in the sun. Y'all know I'm a beach girl, I'm a sun girl, I'm a summer girl. I just love the sunshine and the heat. It's cloudy and raining off and on today, and it's not going to happen today. And unfortunately, here in Pennsylvania, we get more cloudy days than sunny days. But when I do have a chance to just go sit in the sun and just feel that warmth on my skin and soak in the vitamin D, it makes me happy. When I'm riding in the car, even if it's cold outside, when that sun is shining and I can feel the warmth through the windows and I have the shade open on the sunroof and I can feel the sun coming in there, I just love the feeling that it gives me. Hanging with family and friends. Yeah, pretty much self-explanatory. If I didn't get any happiness or joy out of it, I wouldn't take the time to do it. So I love especially hanging with my friends. You know the saying, you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. Well, yeah, that's true. There are some members of my family that, no, I don't choose to spend time with them. Doesn't mean I don't like them. It's just that they don't bring me happiness and joy. Instead, they kind of suck the life out of you. And every family's going to have that. So you just choose not to spend extended periods of time with them. But if you have people that you sincerely enjoy hanging with, I have different friends from different walks of life that I still spend significant amounts of time with. And it obviously makes me so happy, or I wouldn't do it. Okay, the next one. travel and learning. Now, obviously, this isn't something that I can do daily or even once a week unless my bank account was completely unlimited and overflowing. It's not right now. But something that I've always loved, which is one of the reasons I went into the travel industry, was experiencing other cultures. And when I say travel, yeah, I know the United States has so much to see and do. And sometimes if you go to different parts of our country, it is like a different culture. But I prefer traveling abroad, going to Europe, going to the Caribbean. When I am in a different country, experiencing a completely different culture that's, pretty different from my own, I love the experience. It excites me. It literally excites me on the inside. And that's, what you want in your self-love menu. You want these things to excite you. If there's something that excites you, write it down and make it a habit. The next one that was on my old list, unfortunately, is not a thing anymore, but it was snuggling with my dog. If you've been with me for a while, you remember my beloved Casper. He's been gone almost 3 years. This May will be 3 years. And I miss my little boy all the time. But I loved just sitting in the recliner and he'd snuggle next to me. He was just a little guy. So he'd just snuggle down next to me and he'd want a blanket on him. And I just loved spending time with him. And that did bring me pure happiness. Catching up with old friends. Again, this is where Facebook has been beneficial. I turned 50 in October. And Mike said to me one morning, like about a month before that, he's like, Michelle, we're going to have the talk. And I'm like, huh? What? He said, you're turning 50. You deserve a party. You need a party. I don't know how to do it. Just throw one for yourself. Well, that was all he had to say. So I did. I threw myself a big old 50th birthday party. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you would have seen the pictures from that. And there's a couple video clips that I didn't take that my friend took. But I invited my guest list was not ordinary. I wanted no one from a generation older than me. So I invited, my mom was away for the weekend. There were no parents, no grandparents, no aunts and uncles. It was cousins, and that was it. And no one under the age of 21 was allowed. So any cousins that I invited could not bring their children, because none of them have children that are over 21. And friends. And when I say friends, I went to my Facebook page for my graduating class. And I invited every single person that I graduated with. Tell me I am not just messed up. Now, I knew the majority of them would not come. And I made sure to tell them, this is not about my birthday. This is not about gifts, nothing. We have lost several class members who didn't make it to age 50 that have died. And that's how I kind of worded the invite, was that we don't, we're already starting to lose some of our own. Let's just use my birthday as an excuse to get together. So I had a fire outside. I had this entire bar filled with food. I had photos with music on the television, and we just partied to the early hours. And I had friends show up that two I have not seen since we graduated, which I graduated in 1987. The whole catching up with old friends thing has just become so cool to me. Maybe it's because I turned 50, and it is kind of a wake-up call when you hit that mark, thinking, you're excited to turn 21, and 30 kind of was like, ugh. 40 was like even worse. Oh my God, I'm old. 50, I would have thought would have just been horrible for me. It wasn't. When I hit 50, it was almost like, yes, I survived. I'm 50 and I'm still freaking alive. It was exciting. So I guess that's why I've been, again, so interested in catching up with some old friends, because we all have something to celebrate by making it to this age. So I think each birthday from here on out is going to be the same way. I'm not going to feel like I'm getting older. I'm just going to feel like that I've made it another year. So the catching up with old friends does obviously bring me joy. And then the last one I had wrote down very recently was road trips. When Mike and I lived in an apartment, oh my gosh, this dog. When Mike and I lived in an apartment and we had no responsibilities, kids 1,000 miles away, it's just him and I, the dog had passed. For the first time in our married life, we had no animals and no kids at home. And we would just get up and say, let's take a drive. And if it meant driving 2 or 3 hours to a destination, we had the ability to do it because we did not have the children and the pets at home to concern ourselves with. And we didn't, it wasn't like we were going somewhere to spend a ton of money. Just the drive and the scenery, and we would do like state parks and county parks. We went to a dam down in Maryland. We love the Maryland area, so that's usually the direction we head is south. But just experiencing new places. I just love a good road trip, like a day trip. Now the road trips that are a long drive, like we've driven to Florida a lot, I'm always hyped to do it, and I'm hyped packing and, oh, what are we going to take on the trip to keep us awake for like food and beverage while we make this drive. And I get all excited. We get in the car, we take off, and we start to go. And by the time I get an hour and a half to 2 hours in and make it to Washington, D.C., I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm just done. I can't do another 900 miles. So I'm not a fan of the really long road trips. But the day trips, or even if we would like decide to up and start a day trip, but then it gets late and we just grab a hotel for the night, stuff like that. Oh, I love it. I get so excited. And again, it doesn't have to be a ton of money spent on it. So that, in a nutshell, is my self-love menu. So I encourage you, just take the time to sit. First of all, just think, what brings you happiness, makes you excited, that you can't wait to do it next, and just start jotting those things down and put them in a menu. Big and small. You've seen some of mine were big, but some of mine were very small. And tell yourself, make a promise to yourself that you are going to pick something off of that menu every day to do. I can tell you that today I cooked a healthy menu for myself for breakfast. I did the, where is it? Drinking tea and reading. I did take the time to do that this morning. The rest of it, no, didn't get to do today. But, you know, some of these things I'm not going to be able to do on a weekday just because of work schedules. But I'm promising myself that on this list, I will do something every day. You need that time. You need that time to just spend with yourself. And to spend that time with yourself, you have to feel that you are worth spending time with yourself, because you are. We all are. So I'm going to end this video here. There's nothing for you to see in the rest of my day. Really, I have my sheets in the dryer. So I'm going to make my bed, dust my bedroom, and vacuum the bedroom. And I don't know what else I'm going to get myself into. Possibly take a nap, since I only got 4.5 hours sleep last night. And nothing exciting on the menu tonight. I'm making some pork chops and some red potatoes and leftover vegetables. So you will miss nothing vlog style exciting coming from me today. But this is where I'm going to end it. So do your self-love menu. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, girlfriend or boyfriend, you are worth it. I'm doing this for me. I will catch up with you soon. Bye.